Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, jctickets.net, Geico Insurance, Dunaway Furniture, Ocean City Golf Club, RussellStreetReport.com, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Holiday Inn Express, BuyAToyota.com, your official site for Toyota deals. The original Green Turtle, hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
Welcome back. It's the original Green Turtles Ravens Wrap show right here on Comcast Beach TV, and now this season on ABC Channel 47 WNDT, and on the radio once again on 93.5 The Beach, Delmarva's Rock Radio, and the strongest signal Ravens affiliate on the peninsula, coming to you from the Ravens Room of the Blue Ox Bar and Grill, 127th Street and Coastal Highway in Ocean City with Ravens Roost 44. Give yourselves a hand, folks. Inviting all Ravens fans across the peninsula down to the show. We've got tickets that we're giving away. In fact, next week on the show, we're giving away Ravens tickets against the Atlanta Falcons in a couple of weeks at M&T Bank Stadium. That ought to be a great one. So 4 more chances at winning Ravens tickets thanks to jctickets.net. So come on down to the show. Food and drink specials. Doors open at 5:30, and doors open at 5, and the show starts at 7. So we'd love to see you down here. Also, we've got Bud Light prize packages, hotel giveaways as well. Did want to let you know, again, wearing the orange and black for the Orioles. So from all of us here at Ravens Wrap, we are certainly wishing the O's the best of luck. I had to laugh. I got a Facebook message the other day from my friend Noelle Ridlin, who lives in Philadelphia. But her mom lives in the Salisbury area, and she was watching the show on Channel 47, on ABC Channel 47, and she said, "Great job, Mike, but my mom says that you need to wear higher socks." I said, "Yeah, but you know what? We're doing the show from Ocean City, so this is a beach thing. So if you notice it, yeah, that's why it's happening." So shout out to Noelle and her mom. Appreciate you watching the program. I'm Mike Bradley from 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore, and locally on mornings on 92.7 WGMD with my co-host Jake Smith. To my left, though, Bart Talbert. He is a former Salisbury University defensive back of the team, and now currently a history professor, military history professor at SU. So we appreciate you coming on the program for the first time. Welcome back in.
Thank you for having me.
And no stranger to his left, longtime coach, and also Ravens Roost 44 member and, of course, fan, Steve Slaza, on the panel as well. Wanted to give you, and we usually do this, where we do a high school football update for Stephen Decatur and Indian River. Now, it's been a tough year for Decatur, and unfortunately they lost to Easton in overtime, 34-33. They had a missed extra point in overtime. Easton scored and made theirs, so they're 0-5. But, folks, let me tell you, it's the best 0-5 team in Maryland. They've got a tough game at North Carolina on Friday night on North Carolina's homecoming, but I'm predicting an upset in that one. So best of luck to them. Indian River, the other team, they fell to Lake Forest 41-10. They're 2-3 on the year and a rebuilding year, but I'm sure they'll be okay as the rest of the season goes on. They've got a game against Laurel on Friday night. That ought to be a good one. Getting back to the game, the Ravens losing to the Colts 20-13. We were talking about C.J. Mosley in the last break and the kind of season that he's had, the kind of game that he's had. And Steve, boy, I mean, he took on a couple of times. He filled and took on a couple of blocks, especially in a goal line stand that they had, and blew up some plays. But he looks phenomenal out there, every bit worth the pick that they made.
Well, it's not just him. When you look at all of the linebackers together, you know, obviously with Dumerville and Suggs, but then you had Upshaw who's really stepping in and doing it. And, you know, like you were saying, you know, the only guy right now who's not really in that group is Darryl Smith. You know, and, you know, we're hoping that Arthur Brown will step in and, you know, show some support coming on. But, all in all, I thought the linebacker group really played well. And I think their down linemen have played great considering the injuries they've had.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon Williams has done a very nice job in nose tackle. I'm very impressed with him. I think Haloti Nada is holding his own. Is he the dominant guy? No, but is he solid? Yes. And then they've had a rotation of guys. Chris Canny was out last week, but they've had D'Angelo Tyson in there. Now let's talk about Pernell McPhee for a second. And Bart, you know, being from the defensive side of the ball, to have a guy that can be a stand-up linebacker for you, can put his hand in the dirt, not just a defensive end position, but also inside as well to rush the backer. He's rush the passer. That is, he's been highly versatile for this team.
He has, and I think that the fact that we played so well against a Chuck Pagano coach team who knows the Ravens well and is trying to make Indy that way, for them to, the way we didn't run the ball well, we didn't do a whole lot well on offense, and then the turnovers, to have a chance to win it late, that's huge, and you've got to give that to the defense, especially inside the red zone.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Let me also ask you, at the end, The Ravens gave themselves a chance to drive down the field. Matt Elam stripping the ball from the running back. That's what you got to do. That you got to make plays and create turnovers, and he did that there.
Yeah, and well, of course, all organizations, if they're led well from the top, they exhibit that, and that's Harbaugh. I mean, he's tough, son of a coach. He's gritty. You can tell by the way he handles his business that those guys aren't going to quit. And it's a tough game, and when they get down like that and things aren't going against you on the road in Indy and still had a chance to win, they never quit. Still trying to strip. I loved it.
Steve, let me ask you, Lardarius Webb, he played a lot more than he did against Cleveland. I think 40-some snaps. It wasn't great, but he's getting there, and I would expect that hopefully another couple of games down the line, he's going to be back to 100%. But John Harbaugh said at the press conference Monday, he's not at 100%, but you got to get him out there and get him get the rust off, though.
I thought he came on and he really should have had an interception. He dropped the one interception, which I really would have thought would have helped him skyrocket his confidence. But you look at him and you look at Brooks, who's really, playing out of position. They've got a lot of safeties that are really playing, inside as the nickel guy. And, I'm real happy with the defense. I mean, going into that game, I didn't think we would win, but I thought we would get blown off the field. We didn't get blown off the field. We didn't give up, the huge amount of points. And, it's frustrating, I know, when you look back at it, because if you'd done this and that offensively, you could have won the game. But defensively, I thought you put yourself in a position to win the game, and I think it's really a game that will galvanize the defense for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I came out encouraged with some things that I saw, even though it was a loss, and that's certainly a good sign. Just quickly, as we wrap up the game and recapping it, very interesting stat here. I don't know if folks caught it on the TV, but there was a third down play that was inside Indianapolis's third offensive possession. There was a pass through to Reggie Wayne. It was a pass over the middle, but Jimmy Smith tackled him. It was the first time in 32 third downs since 2012 that Wayne didn't convert a third down. How about that?
I heard that on TV, and I could not believe, that statistic.
Yeah. Well, let's move on here and talk some AFC North and some news and notes. Taking a look at things last week, the Cleveland Browns down big time to Tennessee, and they were down big to Pittsburgh in week one. They came up a little bit short in that one, I think 31-28, but this time they were down, I think 21-3 or 21-10 at one point. They come back and win 29-28. That's a huge confidence builder. And after losing to the Ravens, having to endure the bye week, that's a heck of a bounce back, and certainly you could say that they're starting to become not your dad's or even your son's Cleveland Browns anymore.
Yeah, Hoyer looks good. I don't know if it's Manziel pushing him or what it is, because sometimes
Doesn't hurt.
They can bring the best out of you.
Right.
But that team seems to believe, and they've had that focus on them from the beginning, and they've got poise. I like it. He's moving in the pocket well. He's throwing it. People are making plays downfield. I'm worried about Cleveland.
Well, it's a big win that we had on the road against them, Steve.
Yeah.
That just emphasizes
That'll be down the stretch. I mean, that's going to be a very good game when they come back to Baltimore. I think it's on the 28th of December.
But it just shows how valuable that win on the road was, especially going into the bye week. Now, Pittsburgh, they went on the road to Jacksonville. They were looking to bounce back from that loss at home to Tampa Bay. They had never lost to Tampa Bay at home before. They gave up some points late in the game, and they lost that. But they bounced back against Jacksonville. It wasn't pretty, but they win 17-9 on the road, and anytime you get a road win, you'll take it. So they improved to 3-2 on the season, tied with the Ravens in terms of overall record, that is. And then Cincinnati blown out by New England 43-17. I'm not exactly surprised that New England won the football game at home, coming off the blowout that they endured to Kansas City on the road. I thought they'd come out punching, but I think a lot of us are probably surprised at the margin of victory in that one by the Patriots.
I think that's a big thing, especially when the media builds Cincinnati up as, they're the best team in football, and, they're going to be incredible
Not
this
last
year. Exactly. And, then you lose 43-17. You're like, oh, okay, hold on. Maybe we weren't quite sure about that best team in football thing.
It's funny how the NFL goes each year. You try to clock it. The first quarter of the season, you have all these crazy things happening, and you think that, oh, well, this has changed. New England is gone. Cincinnati's up. It just takes time. By week 5, week 6, you start to see who's who. And I was looking today, 8 teams are 3-2 or 3-1 in the AFC. But I think we're going to.
And you've got 2 of them in the AFC North.
That's right. And I think we're going to start to see the cream rising to the top, and that's Harbaugh and the Raiders, that's Belichick and New England. That's not changing. Now, you can have a bad game, you can have a bad part of a season, but I think that, a new team coming along that's got a new coach, okay, fine, but it's like people expecting a lot out of the Redskins. I mean, come on. New coach, new this, new that. good luck.
They're still in the transition with that personnel, too.
It takes time.
Yeah. Well, since he's 3-1, the Ravens 3-2, Pittsburgh's 3-2, although we've beaten them head-to-head, so that helps, and Cleveland is 2-2 on the season. And coming up, Pittsburgh is on the road at Cleveland. That'll be an interesting game. And then Cincinnati hosting Carolina, so we'll see how that turns out. Again, it's a week-to-week league. You would think Cincinnati would win at home coming off that blowout loss, but Pittsburgh-Cleveland, I think that's going to be the real interesting matchup, and it's a good thing. One of those two teams has to lose in the division. That helps the Ravens out, assuming that we win our football game. Guys, some injuries coming out from the game on Sunday. I guess the biggest injury, Asa Jackson, the cornerback, he has a toe injury. He's put on injured reserve, designated to return. The Ravens re-signed Dominic Franks, who they had earlier in the year, and they cut him. So Jackson now has to miss at least 8 games. He can start practicing in 6 weeks, but it's a severely sprained toe. So it's good timing that Lardarius Webb is getting healthy again. But that's that. Now, Chris Canty apparently got some sort of infection in his wrist. Had to have surgery. He's going to be out a couple of weeks as well. So we talked about how valuable Pernell McPhee is playing a linebacker and defensive line rotation there. So that certainly we're going to ask more of him, and you saw that against Indianapolis. Also, the Ravens picked up tight end Ryan Taylor off of waivers from the Green Bay Packers and let Philip Supernall go, who was signed from the practice squad, I believe it was, because he had experience with Houston and Gary Kubiak's offense, but they let him go. Taylor's supposed to be a blocking tight end. So they're looking to, I guess, continue to bolster that aspect. But I heard he can catch a little bit, so we'll see.
Yeah, I guess Supernall hurt himself in practice on Saturday, ended up coming up lame, and they couldn't dress him for the game.
Oh, okay.
So they were looking to move on, and obviously when Taylor came free, that was a bonus for them.
Okay. And John Simon, the linebacker, outside linebacker at Ohio State, that is. Being a Michigan fan, I guess I have a tough time saying that. John Simon was signed off the practice squad by the Houston Texans. The second practice squad player signed by another team. Josh Bynes was signed by the Detroit Lions, and now John Simon, that is, by the Houston Texans. That just speaks to the Ravens and the talent they have, even at the practice squad level.
Simon is the guy. I mean, he was, Defensive Player of the Year in the conference and in the Big Ten. And, for him, for a team like us who is looking for pass rushers and the injuries we've had, that sort of sheds light on, hey, maybe there is a disconnect between the scouting department and the coaches.
All right, Steve, more of the Ravens Wrap Show to come. Keep it here.
In April 1959, Art Wall won the Masters, edging out Carey Middlecoff and Arnold Palmer by finishing birdie, 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 par birdie. 1 month later, Ocean City Golf Club celebrated the opening of their first 18 holes. That course has been transformed now into one of the most scenic golf layouts on the East Coast. Come experience 36 of the most beautiful and challenging holes you'll find anywhere. Ocean City Golf Club in Ocean City, Maryland.
Welcome to the Comfort Inn Gold Coast. Conveniently located just 1 block from the beach and adjacent to shopping at the Gold Coast Mall and the movie theater. Newly renovated and open year-round with a marvelous bayfront view. Visit us on the web at comfortgoldcoast.com and see our hot deals and great golf packages, or simply call our direct reservation line to plan your stay.